South Korea might be my favorite food destination of all time, and that is saying something. Korean food is up there firmly in the top 5 for me, along with Mexican, Turkish, Peruvian, and Pakistani cuisines. But it is tough to compare such different styles of food and cooking, especially because I love all sorts of cuisine. I'm the furthest thing from a picky eater that you will find. If there is something new to try, I will put it into my mouth, no questions asked. If you approach South Korea with this open-minded or open-mouthed attitude, South Korea will be an incredibly wild roller coaster ride. Heck, my very first meal here was spicy chicken feet accompanied with a milky rice wine to numb the heat. I thought I could handle spice, Korea taught me otherwise, but that did not stop me, and we are back yet again to eat more things. This is my 4th time visiting South Korea, but it will be my first time without my Korean friend Lucy, who, if you watched my Guatemala videos, is currently backpacking in Central America, where we got to summit an active volcano together. South Korea can be overwhelming as a foreigner, and having a local friend show me around has absolutely opened so many doors that I otherwise would not have known existed. From that time she explained to me what mulnangmyeon was after I got confused why there were big blocks of ice in my soup, to personally joining me on foodie adventures in the back alleys of Seoul to chew on intestines or try perhaps the most controversial thing that I've eaten, nakji, octopus so fresh that its tentacles are still moving. I don't think I would have had the courage to try some of these things on my own, so big shout out to Jeonchi for giving me my wings, and now it is time to leave the nest and fly solo. Well, with my sister who is joining me in Korea for the week to fill our stomachs with delicious food and to fill Korean claw machines with 1,000 won bills. Seriously, we've got an addiction, but without further ado, let us kick things off in South Korea's electric capital city, Seoul. Welcome, say welcome to Seoul.
To Seoul.
That will be the intro to my YouTube video. And then kimchi. Hello. You want to try? Octopus? You want to try? That's really good. Although Seoul has tons of incredible markets scattered throughout the city, from the bustling Noryangjin fish market to Namdaemun's traditional market, the most famous might be the historical Gwangjang Market, one of the oldest in South Korea. This sprawling market is home to over 5,000 shops selling all sorts of things, from traditional Korean textiles and fabrics and hanboks to fruits, vegetables, produce, and much more. However, most recently, Gwangjang has become famous for its food, ranging from traditional Korean favorites like gimbap and mung bean pancakes to some newer things that I haven't seen before, like this deep-fried pork patty stuffed with cheese. Eat that food. You can do it. Wow, cheese pull! Cheese pull!
Cheese pull.
What? Oh my gosh, that's a huge cheese pull.
I don't know how to do this.
Why are you lifting it so high?
I'm hoping. Oh no!
Wow. My god, it was heavenly and a harbinger of the weight gain to come. We felt so bad about ourselves that we would just up and hike South Korea's tallest mountain later this week to make ourselves feel better. But we won't relive that suffering for now, and instead, we will relive the joys of Gwangjang Market. This little restaurant with the cheesy pork was really cool, tucked away from the main aisles of the market, and featuring this walk-in fridge with hundreds of different types of liquors to choose from. I'd give this a 9.5 out of 10. It's like straight out of my wildest dreams. Unfortunately, it was very early in the day, so we did not take advantage of the walk-in fridge, but it would have been a fantastic drinking snack. I would absolutely eat it again. Apparently this place was also featured on a Netflix show, but I could not make it out, so if anyone knows, drop a comment and let me know so I can watch it. 감사합니다 in advance. Speaking of Netflix, this isn't Gwangjang Market's only celebrities. Street Food Asia has an episode covering Seoul, and right at the forefront are these lovely ladies whipping up kimchi and pork dumplings, udon, and delicious soups, both hot and cold. We opted for an order of kimchi and pork dumplings as well as molnaengmyeon, the cold icy soup, to cool off on this hot summer day.
Go, go, go. Another to add to the series.
I only mess up when you take a video.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can make
Now it's too slippery for my success.
You just nibbled it.
Success.
That was not a bite.
Go away.
Yes. I told you.
When I was last at Gwangjang Market a year ago, the line for this place was enormous, and I had to settle for a meal a few stalls down from a place that was offering similar food. And honestly, I preferred that to the Netflix famous one. The soup here was pretty basic, and the dumplings were not particularly memorable. Honestly, very weak on the fillings, where I remember the ones that I had the previous year were absolutely super thick. Who knows, it could be a curse of the fame, but I'd only give this place a 6 out of 10. The ladies are very sweet though, and they never refused when someone asked for a photo. Honestly, I don't know how these food vloggers do it, because already we are feeling pretty stuffed, so we just wander around the Gwangjang Market some more, looking at everything this place has to offer. Those mung bean pancakes or bindaetteok look so appealing, but at the same time so massive for an already overflowing stomach. A few more famous Korean snacks like twigim and gimbap, and then a wide variety of hearty soups. We also see some sundae, which is not the ice cream sundae that we are familiar with. Here, the popular street food is very much not a sweet treat, but rather intestines stuffed with pork blood, glutinous rice, noodles, and maybe more. I don't know, I've never been brave enough to find out what's inside. However, I was brave enough to try this nakji on a bed of beef tartare topped with a raw egg, and if you are too, you'll also find a handful of places in Gwangjang Market offering this daring dish. It's not for the faint of heart, and there have been deaths involved with nakji. Seriously, it was one of the weirdest things I've ever eaten, because you can feel the tentacles squirming in your mouth, and if you don't chomp down hard enough, it can cling to your throat and potentially choke or suffocate you. Personally, I don't see the appeal, and it wasn't nearly a transcendent enough of a culinary experience for me to try it again. It sure is a good story though, and I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Aside from pork blood sausages and live octopus, Gwangjang Market is also filled with sweet treats and delightful drinks. We walked by this coffee shop that is apparently award-winning, so we decided to give it a go. We are really the target market for all these as seen on Netflix and international award winner signs that advertise all of these places, but hey, it's pretty fun being a full-on tourist for once, instead of diving straight into the deep end with my friend Lucy. I don't know if there is such a variance in coffee that one can immediately tell that they're drinking the best coffee in Korea, but this one was pretty dang good. I've never had coffee sprinkled with dehydrated strawberries, and it added a nice, subtle sweetness to the drink.
This is an incredible coffee.
The best coffee I've ever had.
Really, that's high praise.
It gave us a much needed burst of energy to go on a sunset adventure, but first we went back to pick up some gimbap to take with us for a late afternoon picnic by the Hangang River. While it's not a particularly foodie destination to check out, I do love this park a lot. There are lots of street food vendors that set up shop here close to the river, and overall it's just a hugely popular hangout spot for locals, especially those working in the nearby business districts. It offers beautiful views of Seoul from across the river, and the park itself is just stunning too. There are a lot of art installments, fountains, sometimes they have free concerts, and overall just plenty of green space to sprawl out with your friends locals. They even rent picnic blankets, bicycles, anything you need at all for a lazy afternoon at the park. We ended up picking up some takoyaki from one of the street food vendors and yapping away the rest of the daylight. How could you not be? Luckily, Seoul's food scene does not slow down after dark. In fact, I might argue that in Seoul, the real fun begins after the sun sets. I have had my fair share of absolutely belligerent nights out across the city, from Hongdae to Itaewon to Apgujeong to Gangnam, and honestly, who knows where else. I've woken up at Dongmyo Flea Market at like 11 a.m. once after a night out. And that is why before you go out drinking in Seoul, it is important to fill up your belly and grease those insides. Drinking and eating go hand in hand in South Korea, and you are best off hitting up a local pocha, having some Korean barbecue or fried chicken or dakgalbi, while downing somek, which is just soju and mekju or beer combined. Again, you will find no shortage of places to feast and drink across the city, but I like to hang out at the nightlife hubs just so it's easy access if the somek flows a little too smoothly and the night begins to escalate. Itaewon is the international district of Seoul, and that's where you'll find a lot of immigrants from all over the world, and I personally love the diversity that it brings to the cuisine here. Turkish, Indian, Pakistani, Cuban, Thai, Vietnamese, all sorts of food can be found at Itaewon, but tonight we opted for a classic, very cheesy, very oily dakgalbi. I can't believe that I've been to Korea so many times and I've never tried dakgalbi. It is such an elite drinking food, just so fatty and meaty and greasy. Ugh, I love it. Of course, the classic choice is to head for Korean barbecue. I always lamented being a solo traveler here because usually Korean barbecue places have a 2-person minimum. But this time, I've got backup and I've had my eye on all-you-can-eat KBBQ for so long, and now it is finally becoming a reality. This place slapped, and for the utterly ridiculous price of about $17, including bottomless rice, soup, noodles, soft drinks, a side of Korean fried chicken, on top of all the other sides like bean sprouts and kimchi and lettuce. How can you beat this deal? Pork belly, pork rib, beef cuts, so many things to try. You just help yourself and go up as many times as you want and cook that meat to perfection exactly how you like it. Sprinkle a little seasoning and salt or some oils. I can't think of anything more perfect. If this place is considered a tourist trap, then I am snapping at the bait over and over again. The vast majority of people here were Korean though, so yeah, no matter who you are, a deal is a deal, and this is one of the best that you will find in Seoul, if not the world. There are a few of these places in Myeongdong, and we also ate at one of these in Hongdae. Just look up all-you-can-eat KBBQ and you should be able to find them pretty easily. It is an excellent way to refuel after walking 20 to 30,000 steps a day around Seoul, which surprisingly happens very easily. You just rack up those steps without realizing, especially when you're walking through the vast palace grounds of Gyeongbokgung or Changdeokgung, or roaming through the Hanok villages of Bukchon or Iksondong. Since it was my sister's first time here in South Korea, we stayed in Iksondong so that we could be right next to all of the action, within walking distance of most of Seoul's top cultural and historical attractions, as well as just 5 minutes away from a metro station, putting the entire city within our reach. Staying in Iksondong is nice because the neighborhood is filled with stunning cafes. Many of them have cute gardens and charming interiors. Just go cafe hopping here and you will not be disappointed. We also picked up some of the famous salted butter bread. Last time I was here, the line was around the corner, so seeing it mostly empty, we snatched at the opportunity and took it to one of the higher floors of the Gwangjang coffee shop. This is one of my favorites in the area, partially because it hardly ever has anyone in it. It doesn't look like much from the outside, but there are so many floors, each with their own funky, eclectic design, and of course, beautiful views overlooking the Ikseondong Hanok village and the modern skyline of Seoul. Come here for a couple of pastries, both savory and sweet, sip on a coffee, and energize to take on a new day. There are a lot of places to eat here in this neighborhood though, and just outside of the Hanok village things become a lot more local, and you're able to find authentic Korean food at unbeatable prices, from bibimbap to bulgogi. This place is always popping with locals in the evenings, and the streets become packed as the restaurants spill out onto the alleyways. During the day though, I love Seoul's coffee and tea culture, and there's no better way to split up stints of adventuring than by sitting at one of its many incredible cafes. One that you absolutely cannot miss is the Osulok Tea House near the Bukchon Hanok village. They specialize in tea sourced from Jeju Island, but what caught our eyes were the matcha and small desserts. This was one of my favorite little tea breaks in the city. The iced matcha was spectacular and the ambience here is unbeatable. We ordered a small tray of sweet rice desserts that came with an assortment of dips and just sipped on our drinks while enjoying the late afternoon vibes in Seoul. We wrapped up the day with some more adventures before heading over to Seoul's most famous, or infamous, night market in Myeongdong. People have polarizing opinions on Myeongdong, and I agree. It tends to be overpriced, a lot of the offerings are inauthentic, and while most places we've visited so far always have a good mix of Korean and foreign clientele, Myeongdong definitely caters more towards international tourists. It's not a place that I personally would go out looking for authentic Korean street eats, but I do love the lively atmosphere here and the fact that it really is a one-stop shop for travelers coming to Seoul. All the neon signs, the abundance of cute and quirky souvenir stands, all of the beauty shops, and of course, the endless rows of street food stalls. If you can dream it, you can find it here in Myeongdong's night market. This is my favorite, but they made them smaller. Oh, I'm so excited. I feel like it used to be bigger. Wow, it's on fire. Got our fish cakes. You're acting like you've never eaten food before. Like, who holds a stick like that? And the cup. Ooh, fried chicken. Munch, munch, munch.
Munch, munch.
By BTS. Om nom 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 nom.
Nom nom. Hot.
So what, you spilled the entire thing. You're just eating the This, people who watch this video, they'll be like, this person has never eaten food in their life. Hi, my name is Ezra, and this is my first meal. Too late.
Go in. Go back in.
Just eat it together. Use your hands.
Oh no. No.
Here, use chopsticks. You're gonna spill it.
There you go. See,
This is a disaster.
Look at that. It's back.
Wow.
Back to normal. Okay. There we go.
Yes. I think you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna say, oh, it's hot.
Oh no.
Oh. Okay.
Yum.
Very good. 10 out of 10 dumpling.
As you can see, Myeongdong is a lively, fun district to spend an evening in. Is it where you want to go to find authentic street eats at budget-friendly local prices? Probably not, but what matters is that you are enjoying yourself, and personally, I have never not had a good time wandering through Myeongdong. Travel is supposed to be fun, and Myeongdong, with its energetic streets and crowds and street food stalls illuminated by countless neon lights and all of the just super cute and silly and colorful shops that you can walk into, like yes, maybe the locals or that hidden gem travel blogger will say the city's best dumplings are sold by an ajumma 45 minutes away from Seoul under a bridge next to a steel factory, only accessible by answering the bridge troll's riddles. But for a tacky, tasty, good time, I still think Myeongdong is well worth the visit. It is a great place to spend the evening along with the nightlife districts of Hongdae and its overload of arcades and photo booths and countless shops, restaurants, and nightclubs, Itaewon and its pure, unfiltered culture of debauchery. Like I said, Seoul might be even better in the evenings after the sun sets and the people hit the streets and into the pochas looking for a good time. No debauchery for us tonight though, as we were headed to Jeju Island to continue eating our way through South Korea. The flights are unbelievably affordable at about $70 round trip, although if we had booked a little earlier, we saw some for as low as $20 round trip, with checked bags included. So we made our way to the airport, but not before one last meal in Seoul, some tasty udon and gimbap, a killer combo meal for about $8 right here at Gimpo Airport. American airports could never. I don't even know if $8 will buy you a bag of chips at LAX or JFK these days. But anyway, stay tuned to see what we get up to on Jeju Island, famous for their black pork and tangerines, tea fields and beaches, and much, much more. Thank you guys so much for watching. 감사합니다. I hope you have enjoyed the foodie adventures through Seoul so far. It is only a glimpse of what the city has to offer, and I've got tons more recommendations from my many visits to this city. Do not hesitate to ask any questions or for specific restaurant suggestions below in the comments. And of course, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe so you can stay tuned for more from South Korea, Asia, and beyond. I'm also on pretty much every platform if you want to follow along: Instagram, TikTok, multiple websites. So be sure to check me out on those as well if you want to see more from my nearly 10 years of traveling as a full-time nomad and my epic adventures across 80 countries and counting. Once again, thank you all for watching. I hope Seoul treats you very well. See you all on the next video.